Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
New for you now at 5, video of young adults prowling around homes in West Fargo. A man contacted our whistleblower hotline saying he had $700 worth of items stolen from his truck. Now he says his eyes are peeled after he caught another group snooping around his vehicle last night, and it's on camera. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard has our story.
Awesome. This is the ring camera right there. What is the park?
Ring video shows meddling young adults outside of Chris Herrick's house in West Fargo. He lives in the Wilds neighborhood across from Legacy Elementary School.
There's just been a lot of more suspicious vehicles driving around the neighborhood between contractors and just people looking at contractors' tools.
Last week, someone broke into Herrick's truck and stole $700 worth of tools. Around 2 Wednesday morning, he says a group of young adults were in a red car driving in front of his home. The group parked and walked behind his truck before they noticed they were caught on video.
Awesome. This is the ring camera right there. What is the park?
A few moments later, someone else runs into the car before it takes off. Herrick says the kids didn't take anything and isn't sure if this was the same group that stole from him last week, adding they have a rude awakening ahead of them if they think they can get away with stealing.
It's going to be a tough future for you if you get caught with theft on your record. And just personally working for a construction company, everybody's hiring all the time. There's so many jobs out there that come work for an honest living and make your own money.
Herrick says he's monitoring pawn shops and social media for a lead and working with a detective to track down who's responsible so this doesn't happen again. In West Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
We did some digging and found out burglaries, thefts, and vandalism happened at least 10 times in the last week in West Fargo. In Fargo, at least 24 burglaries happened just in the last week. If you need help with an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576. You can leave your tip, and then a member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. You've been hearing about it for a few days now, the snowstorm slated for Saturday. It's a first alert weather day, so let's get more from Hutch.
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we head into our evening tonight, all attention turns to our Saturday forecast. You can certainly feel the chill in the air. First alert weather day has been called for Saturday. Here's a look at the timeline. Snow begins in the central Dakotas as we go into Friday night, and overnight it'll move into our area and for much of the day produce snow. Here's a look at the thinking on the snowfall here, and we are expecting along Interstate 94 and points north to be the main focus of this system. And once you get to the Highway 200 to Highway 2 corridor, I'm expecting a band of heavier snow. We're talking a few of you with 4 inches or maybe even as much as 6 inches of snow. Of course, having a warm ground from the warm season will implement or impact this forecast, as will the surface temperatures that we go through on our Saturday afternoon. Time to time, we could see it mixing with rain. Much more on that storm system in just a few moments. But for now, we have passing flurries reported in Thief River Falls. And in Bemidji, flakes were sighted. In Fargo, no flakes, a few clouds out in the distance with temperatures that will be in the 30s after sunset. The wind should die down. And all in all, it looks like a quiet, albeit very chilly night ahead. I'll have hour-by-hour details on your forecast for Friday, and we'll take a closer look at the path and track of that storm system here to help you better plan your weekend in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A 26-year-old man is facing attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to run over a trooper with the North Dakota Highway Patrol. Troopers say Andrew Booth was driving 95 in a 55-mile-per-hour speed zone on I-94 when they tried to pull him over. Authorities say Booth took off, at times reaching speeds of more than 105 miles per hour. That's when the chase was called off. As troopers were investigating at Booth's South Fargo home, they say he tried to pull into his driveway, stopped, and then quickly sped up and tried to hit one of the troopers. The trooper was able to avoid being pinned between 2 vehicles, but was still hurt. Booth crashed into another vehicle and was then taken into custody. A 30-year-old man is in jail after police say he fired shots at another man at a gas station parking lot. Juan Martinez has been charged with attempted murder and prohibited possession of a firearm. According to court documents, police were called to the Cenex gas station just before 10:30 yesterday morning on a report of gunshots. Authorities say Martinez fired several shots into a man's vehicle because he thought the man was romantically involved with his girlfriend. The victim told officers he went to the gas station to help Martinez's girlfriend put air in her tire. Martinez is already a convicted felon, which prohibits him from possessing a firearm. Authorities have recovered a stolen car, but still haven't found the thief. Police called us to say that they found a black Mazda that looks just like this one in some woods near Fergus Falls. It was taken yesterday morning. They remind you to lock your cars. Due to Cass County being moved to high-risk COVID-19 status, Fargo Public Schools and West Fargo Public Schools have now announced that they will not be allowing spectators to attend games. The new rules start tomorrow until further notice. For more information on this story, head to our VNL News app. October 16th is the deadline for states to ask the federal government for logistical or financial help distributing the coronavirus vaccine. Planning is already underway. Valley News Live's Washington Bureau Chief, Jacqueline Policastro, gives us a look at how the military is preparing for the rollout.
The United States military fights terrorism, saves lives during natural disasters, and now its latest mission is the war on coronavirus. What's your plan for getting millions of people vaccinated?
So we're all set up with our military. Logistically, we're all set. We have a general who does this.
That four-star Army general is Gus Perna. He's co-leading Operation Warp Speed, the federal government's plan to distribute a vaccine with initial doses available by January 2021. Perna has nearly 40 years of military experience.
But you're talking about some of the best logisticians in the world.
Paul Mango with the Department of Health and Human Services says the military's role is more organizational, not direct distribution. One example, Mango says the military is boxing more than 1 billion needles and syringes into vaccine kits.
And we're trying to plan for how much dry ice do we need, how many Band-Aids do we need.
This is the biggest role the military's ever played in preparing for vaccine distribution to the public. And it's also the most ambitious timeline for developing, manufacturing, and delivering a vaccine.
This is going to be a very complex process.
Dr. William Moss with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the COVID-19 vaccine could bring new challenges. Some of the vaccines in development need to be stored at very cold temperatures. And he's concerned about high-risk populations getting access to the vaccine first.
Dr. Moss says the trick becomes figuring out how much vaccine to get to different places so you can cover these particular groups. While the Department of Health and Human Services aims to roll out initial doses early next year, President Trump believes it could happen much sooner. Americans are still hitting the unemployment lines in large numbers. The Labor Department reports that nearly 900,000 people filed for first-time unemployment claims last week. That was higher than expected and was the highest number of unemployment claims since August. Analysts say the report indicates the labor market is having a hard time rebounding to pre-coronavirus levels. Since the start of the pandemic, the economy has filled 11.4 million jobs, or about half of the jobs lost. Today is the deadline to be counted as part of the 2020 census after the Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the Trump administration could stop the count early as it requested. Following the ruling, for the fifth time in 2 months, census takers were given a new end date for the head count of everyone living in the U.S. The Supreme Court ruling did not come with an explanation. Justice Sonia Sotomayor remarked in her dissent that minorities and others will disproportionately bear the burden of any inaccuracies. Halloween isn't just for humans. Up next, the most popular Halloween costumes for your furry friends.
And another cold one expected for your Friday. We'll have details on that, and we're tracking this storm system that will bring our first taste of measurable snow to some across our area. The very latest in your hour-by-hour forecast is next.